of the coldest inhabited regions on Earth. But what does that actually mean? How cold can it really get? Cold enough that eyelashes freeze when you blink. Cold enough that breathing too fast can hurt your lungs. Cold enough that machines stop working and even batteries die. So then, why would anyone choose to live there? Because for her, it's not extreme, it's normal. She didn't arrive there as a tourist. She grew into that environment slowly over years, which leads to something unsettling. Is survival there about strength or adaptation? Because strength fades with age, but adaptation only gets sharper. So how does an 80-year-old body handle that cold? Not by resisting it, by respecting it. She never rushes outside. She never exposes her skin carelessly. She doesn't test the cold. Because in Yakutia, curiosity can kill you. Even opening the door too long can let deadly cold flood inside. So she moves with intention. But then comes a deeper question. What is the one thing she cannot afford to lose? Fire. What happens if the fire goes out? At first, nothing. Then the temperature drops. Slowly, silently, the walls begin to freeze. The air thickens. Your breath becomes visible, even inside. And then, your body starts losing heat faster than it can produce it. So, how does she make sure that never happens? She treats fire like a living being. She feeds it, watches it, protects it. Even when she sleeps, she never truly lets go. She wakes up, checks it, feeds it again. Because in that cabin, fire is not comfort, fire is life. But here's where things get even more disturbing. What about the wolves? You saw them, right? Out there, in the snow, watching. So why don't they attack her? Do wolves hunt humans in places like this? Yes, but not the way you think. They don't attack randomly. They don't waste energy. So then, what makes a human a target? Weakness, panic, unpredictable movement. And she shows none of that. Does she ever run? No, because running triggers something ancient in predators. Instead, she moves slowly, calmly, like she belongs there. And that changes everything. What about her cabin? Is it just a simple shelter? No, it's designed to survive. Raised above the ground, protected from animals, built to reduce heat loss. Even the ladder. Why is the ladder important? Because it can be removed. At night, she pulls it up. No easy access. No surprises. But let's ask something even stranger. Do wolves see her as prey or something else? To them, she's unfamiliar. Not weak enough to attack, not strong enough to challenge. She exists in a gray area, and in the wild, uncertainty is often avoided. Now think about this. What does she eat when everything is frozen? No crops, no fresh food. So how does she survive months of winter? Does she hunt? Sometimes, but not like a young person would. She uses knowledge, not speed, traps, timing, patience. And before winter, she prepares, dries meat, stores fish, collects what she can, because once winter arrives, mistakes cannot be fixed. But here's something most people never think about. Does she eat the same way we do? No. Her body changed. Slower metabolism, lower energy needs. She eats less, but smarter. Which raises a disturbing question. Could you survive on what she eats? Probably not, because survival isn't just physical, it's mental. So let's go deeper. What happens if she gets injured? No ambulance, no hospital, no second chance. So how does she deal with that risk? She avoids it completely. Every step is careful. Every tool is used with precision. Because a small cut, a simple fall, could end everything. Now here's a question that might unsettle you. What does silence sound like? In a place like that, no cars, no voices, no city noise, just wind. And sometimes howls. Doesn't that drive her insane? That depends. What if silence isn't empty? What if it's something she understands better than we do? Is she lonely? Or is loneliness something we created? Because she isn't waiting for messages, she isn't scrolling, she isn't comparing her life to others. Her world is small, but complete. Now think about this carefully. What is harder, surviving the cold or surviving your own thoughts? Because in that cabin, there is nowhere to escape your mind. So how does she stay sane? Routine, fire, food, sleep. Repeat, no chaos, no overload, just clarity. But here's the most important question. Why is she still alive when others wouldn't last a week? Because she doesn't fight her environment, she listens to it. What does that mean? It means she knows when not to go outside, when to conserve energy, when to act, and when to wait. Is that intelligence or instinct? At that point, there's no difference. Now imagine yourself there, one night. Just one. Would you know when to add wood to the fire? Would you recognize danger before it happens? Would you stay calm, hearing wolves outside, or would fear make you make one small mistake? That changes everything, because in Yakutia, you don't get warnings, you get consequences. So in the end, what is the real reason she survives? Not strength, not luck, understanding. She understands the cold, the fire, the animals, and most importantly, herself. And maybe that's the part no one talks about. Because the real question isn't, how did an 80-year-old woman survive in the taiga? The real question is, why do most people fail in a world that simple? And now ask yourself one last thing. If everything you rely on disappeared, no electricity, no internet, no help, would you survive? Even one night?